Yo, dudes, the Empire's pretty chill. Maybe you could, join it or something.
Hey everyone, Lucamus Prime here, so it's time for the next episode of Movie Didn't Need a Sequel. And guys, today's example of a movie that didn't need a sequel is probably a really big one, a very big obvious one in my opinion, guys. And this movie is one of my favourite sci-fi movies of all time, and what is also my favourite movie by the director Roland Emmerich, and it's for none other than 1996's Independence Day. So yeah, now, I really love this movie, guys. It's an absolutely brilliant movie, one of my favourite sci-fi movies ever, and has many of my favourite roles of actors such as Will Smith, Jeff Goldblum, Bill Pullman, Randy Quaid, Margaret Collin, Robert Loggia, James Rebhorn, Harvey Fierstein, and Brett Spiner, and many other great casting in the movie. I really love this movie, and it's an absolutely brilliant movie, guys, about alien invasion, and it's just so brilliant, and it has many, iconic moments, such as there's many, really great destruction scenes, which have aged really beautifully, with absolutely brilliant practical effects, which hold up really well. In my opinion, for a 1996 movie, the special effects have aged really well. It's absolutely brilliant, and very suspenseful and dramatic, and really memorable, lovable characters as well. And this movie also, in my opinion, has one of the greatest sacrifices in cinematic history, which is the sacrifice of Russell Cass, who is a pilot who starts off as being a broken man at the beginning, but then he sacrifices himself by crashing his plane into the alien mothership and destroys it, along with a very iconic line, which is, "Hello, boys, I'm back!" And yeah, a way better sacrifice than the attempted sacrifice garbage from Disney Wars of the Lazy Jedi, absolutely. And yeah. And this movie also, in my opinion, beautifully closed the story really well at the end, because it ended on a perfectly high note, because I've already mentioned Russell's sacrifice, and before, of course, the final story, we got a nice speech by the fictional President Whitmore, who's one of my favourite fictional presidents of all time, played by Bill Pullman. He did a really good job playing President Whitmore. Ending on a very high note, because Captain Hill, played by Will Smith, and David Levinson, played by Jeff Goldblum, land on the desert after they destroyed the aliens' mothership, and Independence Day is celebrated on 4th of July. And while many burning pieces of the mothership fall from the sky, which simulates a swarm of falling stars, which serves as a background for the celebrations. And yeah, this perfectly closed the story so well, guys, and was absolutely perfect right there. Such a great story to watch, and I had a really fun time rewatching this movie when I rewatched it in preparation for this video, guys, and in my opinion, it works perfectly as a standalone movie, but unfortunately, 20 years later, this was deemed not to be, because this movie did very well at the box office, guys. It made a lot of money, which back then in the 90s was very hard to do compared to nowadays. So, sequels, of course, were guaranteed by the box office grossings of this movie, but for me personally, guys, in my opinion, this movie did not need any sequel, because I've already mentioned the perfect ending this movie gave. And yeah, this was the highest gross movie of the year 1996, and definitely very well deserved, absolutely, and it surpassed Twister and Mission Impossible. And it was definitely a really great movie, and it grossed lots of money, which was over $817.4 million worldwide. So that's a lot of money. But unfortunately, the sequel was in development hell and did not get released until 20 years way too late. Because one of my issues with sequels that are unnecessary is that sometimes they tend to be released way too late. Like, an example, of course, being the Disney Wars sequel Trashology. And also Dumb and Dumber 2, the sequel to Dumb and Dumber, which was released 20 years after the first movie. And this is also another example of a movie that had a very late and unnecessary sequel. And guys, that sequel, of course, was for none other than 2016's Independence Day Resurgence, and I watched this movie for the first time after I rewatched the first movie, guys, and when I saw this movie for the first time, I absolutely hated it. I think this is probably easily one of the all-time worst sequels I've ever had to watch. It was so bad from start to finish, guys. It was absolute trash. And boy, it was absolutely awful. Like, I don't even know why they made it in the first place at all. It's just so stupid. Like, it was completely unnecessary because the previous movie had already given us a perfect ending, which beautifully wrapped up the story. It didn't warrant any continuation whatsoever. Like, it ended the first movie on a very high note. So yeah, it's just absolutely ridiculous. And guys, if you're wondering why I was DVD in the first place, despite hating the movie, the thing is, guys, that I didn't want this movie to be... I didn't want to watch it when it first came out in 2016 because, like I've said, in my opinion, this didn't need any sequels. But unfortunately, I got it as a present. So yeah. But thankfully, I didn't waste my money on it. I got it as a present. And yeah. And I've had this in my... in my cupboard for many years, guys, collecting dust, and yeah. And I found it, and I thought, oh, God, I completely forgot about this, but if I want to watch a movie, see how bad it is, I can watch it, so I did. I watched it, and oh my God, it was so terrible, guys. Like, what's bad is that, like, it was unnecessary, and it brought back the aliens, which is so dumb, because they all got defeated and destroyed in the first movie, and by bringing them back into the franchise, it made Russell's sacrifice absolutely pointless, and the final battle completely meaningless. And also, guys, the dedication they have to Russell is absolutely disgusting, because the dedication to Russell is so stupid, because all we do is they carve his name into a brick in the brand new Washington Monument. Like, are you kidding me? Is that how you pay respect to such a great character who sacrificed himself and destroyed the fleet? Oh my God. And also, what's also bad is that, apart from the very few cast members who reprise their roles, like Jeff Goldblum, for example, and also, and Bill Pullman, and a couple of others who reprise their roles, many of the great characters from the first film get written out by either being killed off screen. Like, for example, guys, they kill off Will Smith's character off screen, and also, as well, the ex-wife of David Levinson gets killed off screen as well, which was a very dumb thing. Like, couldn't they just retire the characters in peace? That's not how you send them off. That's ridiculous. And they get replacements which are very unlikable new characters who I could not connect with. They were so unlikable and very annoying. Did not like them at all. Like, it was just so stupid. And like, it just felt so terrible. And plus, as well, the visuals are also very lackluster compared to the first movie. And compared to the first movie, there's hardly any destruction scenes in the movie at all. And also, the very few destruction scenes are also way less intense than the first movie destruction scenes. And the visuals are so bad compared to the first movies. Like, it's so sad that a 90s movie has better visuals than a 2016 movie. That is so sad. Like, oh my God. It was just so terrible. And yeah, it made the first movie absolutely pointless, guys. And from start to finish, it was absolute crap. And I absolutely hated it. It was terrible. And also, guys, remember the scientist played by Brett Spiner, who the alien killed in the first movie and used his vocal cords to talk to humans, about Release Me, voiced by Frank Welker. In this movie, guys, he somehow comes back alive and well because he was only in a coma, not killed. Like, that made no sense whatsoever. Like, oh my God. And I think, apart from Jeff Goldblum, who in my opinion did the best he could at reprising as well as David and the other characters who returned, I think the acting of our characters was pretty stale. Like, for example, I did not like the recasting of Dylan, who is the stepson of Will Smith's character. He was played by Ross Elliott Bagley in the first movie as a child. In this movie, he's played by Jesse T. Usher. And in my opinion, he wasn't that good in the role, like, because after his mother's death, which I also hated because that made the first movie even more pointless now, how he killed off his mother, like, he didn't even appear to care when she died. Like, he sounded so bland when she died. And after this, he just had a very wide-eyed blank stare. Like, didn't even seem to care about the fact that his mother had died. Oh, my God. Like, did not care that he was now an orphan. That's ridiculous. Good Lord. In addition to that, some characters were, of course, recasted. I've already said Dylan was recasted. They also recasted the president's daughter as well. And in my opinion, she looked nothing like her in the first movie. And speaking of President Whitmore, guys, he appears as a former president, guys, and unfortunately he never had much screen time, and they also killed him off as well as a sacrifice scene, and plus the sacrifice was also absolutely dumb, because he sacrificed himself, but it turns out that he didn't even, let the humans win. He didn't help them win at all, because the alien queen was still there. So it was absolutely pointless sacrifice. Like, this movie was just absolute garbage from start to finish, guys. One of the worst sequels ever. But, guys, the good news is that, thankfully, unlike other unnecessary sequels I've seen, like Disney Wars v Fast Awakens, or The Fate of the Furious, or there's probably many others, this movie was a box office bomb. So, yeah, thankfully, guys, this movie bombed at a box office, and yeah, I'm so happy about that. Because this movie was absolute trash, and in addition, guys, it has sequel baiting at the end. And, yeah, but thank God it was a box office bomb, because I don't see this franchise continuing, because this movie, in my opinion, is a perfect standalone movie that did not need any continuation whatsoever. So, yeah. As far as I'm concerned, guys, Independence Day is one movie, and I keep it that way. If you do a rewatch, guys, I'm only going to rewatch this, you know, and on its own, really. I'm not going to watch anything else after it. No way. I'll only rewatch this movie, guys, for its upcoming trash talk of it. So, yeah, stay tuned for that in the far future. So, yeah. And, like, so this movie is absolute disgrace, guys. Like, compared to this movie, which I give a flat out 10 out of 10 to my favourite Roland Emmerich movie of all time, I give this movie a very bad 2 out of 10, because it was absolute trash. So, yeah, screw this movie. It's absolute garbage in every way. Such a very bad movie. So, yeah. Anyway, guys, so this is me doing the next episode of Movie Didn't Need a Sequel. So this was a pretty obvious talk, which is Independence Day. So, yeah. So, you know, drill, guys. Be sure to give this video a like. Also, in the comments what you guys thought of Independence Day. Tell me if you think it needs a sequel or not. Also, be sure to join Team Prime by pressing subscribe for more videos coming in the future. If you'd like to be a member, you can press join in Peace House or click in the description. And I'll see you all later.